Hi everyone, Austin from Coding Pals here, and today we will be taking a look at the Canadian Commuting Competition 2016 Junior Problem 1, Tournament Selection. So let's read the problem first. So it says each player in a tournament plays 6 games. There are no ties. The tournament director places the players in groups based on the results of the games as follows. So if a player wins 5 or 6 games, they're placed in Group 1, and it just goes on to say if it's 3 or 4, we place them in Group 2, and so on. But it is important to note that if a player does not win any games, they're eliminated from the tournament. So our job is to write a program to determine which group a player is placed in. Alright, so the input specification says it's just 6 lines with 2 possible letters, a W or an L, to indicate a win or loss. And the output specification tells us that if it is either 1, 2, or 3, it's going to be either 1, 2, or 3 to indicate which group the player has been placed in, and -1 to indicate the player has been eliminated. Alright, so I guess we can just start coding. So I'm going to show you two methods to this, two approaches to this problem. So first one, I guess, is just a bunch of if statements. Copy and paste that. Oh. So we can start by making us a win counter. This is to keep track of our wins. And we can just write an if statement if G1 is equal to a W. We just add, we just add 1 to that counter. You can just copy and paste it for the rest of the statements. Make sure to always change the variable. It is very easy to forget. Alright, that should be good. So now we can just write more if statements to determine which group they're supposed to be placed in. So if the win counter is greater or equal to 5, we know they're going to be in group 1. So we can just go print group 1. It's greater or equal to, 5. So else if the win counter is equal to, I guess, 3, or win counter is equal to 4, we need to print 2. Then finally, there's one more. If the win counter is equal to 1 or win counter is equal to 2, we know they're supposed to be in group 3, and then we can just finish with an else statement to place them in -1. So we can just run our program to see if it works. Alright, great. So now I actually want to show you guys like another possible solution, one that will, I guess, will seem a bit easier. So we can first just delete this, and we can use a very handy thing called a for loop. So we can go for I in range. We know there's 6 inputs. There's 6 inputs, right? And we can just go input. We can just call that game. And we also need our win counter. I accidentally deleted that. To equal to 0. This will be outside the for loop, because if it is inside the for loop, once it loops back, it'll just reset to 0. So we need to put this outside. And we can just check if that game is equal. So we can write if the game is equal to a W, we can just add 1 to that win counter. So I guess it's just much easier than just writing like 6 if statements and just adding it manually. This is why learning for loops is very important. It makes your solution much more efficient and shorter. So if we just copy and paste this solution back, it is also right. So today I taught you 2 different methods to look at this problem. One would obviously be just writing 6 if statements out, but I guess another solution, which is much more efficient and makes your program much smaller, is to utilize a for loop to take input much quicker and check and add 1 to the counter if the game is equal to a win. Alright, thank you. And that's all for this tutorial.